And I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. Do you know what brass is? That means they are strong mountains, are strong nations. Now let me have your attention away from the Word just one moment. In chapter 1, what you're about to see is 4 chariots. Chariots are machines of war. They mean to attack. In chapter 1, we saw horsemen, which are scouts. And they were on reds and on grizzled horses, and they were standing under some myrtle trees. I said, "What are y'all doing over there?" I said, "We've come down to scout the earth out. We're God's angels. We want to see what's going on." What I want you to know now is because these are chariots, you're going to see action, all right? It's a war machine. Some action is going to be taken. You can make a note of that if you like. I'll have it for you in just one second here if you want to make a note in your notes. I was quoting from Zechariah chapter 1, verses 8, 9, and 10 about the scouts. Now let's go with the war machine. In the first chariot were red horses. Remember the color red. Red horses. And in the second, black horses. And in the third chariot were white horses. And in the fourth chariot, grizzled. Now this is going to take a little bit of work on your part, all right? Grizzled is iron gray or dapple gray, or you might even call them a pale horse. But then you have a word here that is added of horses called bay horses. That word bay should be translated, rather than to say a different color of horses, but simply to close the sentence with the word strong horses. Many of you, if you've got a King James, if you notice that word bay is your attention is called to it, and it'll tell you that the word should be really strong, that they are strong horses. Why? Because horses are always used to symbolize strength and power, especially when it deals with war. Okay, we got our horses here. We still need to pull into line one more ingredient here, and then that's about it. Or is it a repeat? I'll let you decide for yourself. Verse 5. And the angel answered and said unto me, These are the 4 spirits of the heavens, the 4 winds, the 4 hurrahs, the 4 that have to do with the consummating of the end of this age, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. Where are they coming from? Directly from the Lord of all this earth. 6, listen carefully. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, north country, north country. You got it? Bear, bear, bear. All right? And I'm not talking about, the north country. All right? It's important that you remember that color, too. Which color goes to the north country? The black horses. And the white go forth after them. This can even be translated, goes a little bit to the west of them, if you want. You know who the white horses are. It's the Kenites that are controlled by their father, and they're going to go wherever they want to anyway, all right? They're going to control. And the grizzled, that's the iron gray, go forth toward the south country. South country. I'm sorry, does that sound ludicrous? But I want to draw your attention to it. Now, if I were to ask you, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Let's read on just a little further. And the bay, what did I tell you about the bay? That simply means the strong horses. That's all of them. Went forth and sought to go that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, Get ye hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walked to and fro through the earth. Now, did they walk to and fro through halfway between here and heaven? On earth. Then cried he upon me, and spake unto me, saying, Behold, these go toward the north country, These that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country. That's God speaking. He says, I found a little peace in this. You know why? I feel it started the wheel moving. It started the deadly wound. The deadly wound is started both in the north and the south. If we were to continue on, and you will take that as an assignment for your later work, and if you have trouble with the Hebrew, you get the tapes on the minor prophets and understand these cities and the names that are given as to who the crown goes on. It isn't necessary to go along with this study we're doing now. It's just a deeper study into the return of Christ. But I don't want to talk about the return of Christ. Now I want to talk about the deadly wound. Let's see. Now let's remember 2 points especially. We've got the grizzly or the pale horses going south, and we've got the black horses going north. And it made God feel good. It made him feel good about earth again, meaning his plan, his action. I must caution you to again remember the 4 spirits, how important they are in this in the book of Daniel. They have to do with bringing about the deadly wound because of the 6th chapter of the book of Daniel. That's why I took you there, was to prove just that one point. Like I said, I don't need the experience I had one day I cannot share it with you. I would lose my credibility even with some of you. So I choose not to do that. But the 6th chapter of Daniel will do that for you. It lets you know the sequence exact from the 4 spirits of God. I might ask you, do you know what the 4 spirits of God are? Do you know what the number 4 signifies in biblical numerics? The earth, all right? It means those angels or that part of the Holy Spirit that has to do with God's control of earth. That's what it's talking about. It's not some different set of spirits, good spirits. It's the Holy Spirit, that part that is in charge of controlling God's actions and people on this earth. Now I'm going to share something with you. We're going to go back to the 6th chapter of the book of Revelation. And just let this flow real good for yourself. Analyze it and see what you think about it. See what you think about it. Now, first of all, we know that the white horse in verse 2 of chapter 6 in Revelation is Antichrist. We know we don't start with him. All right? Antichrist doesn't show up until after the deadly wound happens and after the horses go forth. So we're going to go to the 5th. I want to say this in a way, and I wish there was some way I could just really simplify it for you. I believe, and this is supposition from here forth, I believe that the seals that I have always taught were out of sequence as far as the trumpets, which is the action, are concerned. And I have a very special reason because I have certain knowledge that they're not. And I won't go any further than that. But I believe that as far as the flesh bodies are concerned, or as long as we are in flesh bodies, and up until the supernatural appears, that from 1 through 5 are reversed. And then after the white horse appears, in the spiritual sense, they are in order and work back the other way. I want to say that one more time. I believe, and this is supposition to you, that inasmuch in the 5th seal, we have those already under the altar of God saying, how much longer, God, before you're going to turn loose and avenge us on earth? And then as we work down to the appearance of Antichrist on earth, they are reversed. And then they turn around and come back the other way after the little horn appears. I will illustrate. Follow me. Let's take the 6th one again. Chapter 6, the book of Revelation.